Hello, my name is Doug Bates. 5.5 years ago, July 11th, um, um, 2011, I lost my 7-year-old daughter, Caitlin, in a car accident. It was looking back at it was it's a weird thing because the day it happened, it was a beautiful, gorgeous, sunny day. My wife had a premonition, a horrible nightmare the night before, and we had to take her to the doctor. She had heart issues and couldn't breathe. So we were leaving the doctor's office. I had decided I wanted to go to a golf course to work on a program. My eldest son is autistic, and on the way there, a truck hit us and we lost our daughter. The ironic thing of it all was, as I said earlier, it was the kind of day you didn't expect anything like that to happen. And it was even kind of more eerie because my wife had this something bad was going to happen that day. So for the longest time, I have had difficulty trying to comprehend that day, that accident, why it happened, why not me, and by no means am I suicidal. But as a parent, you don't expect your child to die. You expect your child to move on and go on. The ironic part of it all, if there's any irony in it, is my eldest son, is autistic. And when we went to speak to the OPP about the accident, he had every detail in his head, which is painful to me as well because he can't express his emotion. So he was sitting talking to the OPP officer, and he would say things like, my dad screamed and my mom screamed and my sister screamed and the glass came this way, and just the car hit here, and he remembered it was like a black box in a car. And I struggle to this day even thinking about what's he going through. So for the first, well, more than the first, but definitely the first week, first 2 nights, I couldn't sleep, couldn't do anything. Food was not interesting to me at all. Nothing was interesting to me. It was just I was still in shock. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know if I knew what was going on. And then my wife and my eldest son went away with my in-laws, my parents, and their sister. They went to their place. And my youngest son and I stayed together. We decided we just needed some time to figure things out. So one day, on the third day, I sent my son to the Y. They had a camp, and I went to my daughter's gravesite, and ironically felt some kind of a spirit, whatever you want to call it. And she talked to me and said something she wanted me to do. And one of them was to take care of my mom and my brothers. And the other one was to start an initiative or a foundation, which I did. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But that evening, that day actually, when I got home, and I just flopped on the couch. And every movie I had watched that day, I just stuck on AMC, was a story about moving on. It was the most bizarre thing. I remember, Top Gun came on, then Ghost came on. I just thought, it was just one after the other of trying to find ways to move on. So I played in many bands. I was playing in a band at the time, and I remember asking the guys to get together a few days afterwards, which they all thought I was nuts doing, but I needed to find an outlet. And I just didn't want to talk about anything else, just wanted to beat the hell out of my drums. And that was, I guess, I hate to say road to recovery because I've never really recovered, but my way of trying to find some thing to make what doesn't make sense to me to this day makes some kind of sense. And that's where it's never going to ever make sense. It's just trying to find some kind of, I'll say, normal. because the nightmares happen every night still. I still cry when I see a father with a daughter thinking, I had that. I had to give up my DJ because I couldn't do the father-daughter dance anymore. Those kinds of things are still extremely difficult for me. And I won't lie about it, I'm very jealous of a lot of my male friends have daughters. And while I love my boys, I can't say enough of my two boys, there's still a major hole in my heart and a major piece missing. So the thing I tried to do with my daughter's foundation was find ways to honor her. And while I can't really see what she would be like in the future, from what I knew when she was 7 and younger, I've tried to do things that I think would make her feel proud of me. And that's sort of been my mission of hope in my life, is doing what would make her proud. If I died today or died tomorrow or whenever I'm going to die, and the idea we believe in is that we'll see our families against what sort of keeps us going, I guess, is that if that does happen and I do see her again, that she'll say, Dad, thanks for not wasting your life. Thanks for doing something positive. Thanks for trying to find some way to move on, because there are many, many days I find it extremely difficult to find where's the hope, where's the joy. And, I've tried to find ways like that. And I do little positive quotes every day on my Facebook page. And a lot of my friends will say, geez, it makes my day, Doug. And I really selfishly don't do it for anybody else but myself. I have to find some reason to get up in the morning. And so I read, whatever the quote might be and think, okay, I got to do something today. And then doing my daughter's foundation, now called an initiative, is another reason, because I think, what can I do to make something bright for her? What can I do to make something sort of positive in this world? And how would that make her happy?